I thought my best friend had my back. Instead, he pretended to be me online. He ruined my relationship. He stole the girl I loved. And I'll never look at friendship the same again. I never thought betrayal could cut this deep. I was standing right there in front of my girlfriend, watching her eyes fill with anger and disgust. She shoved her phone into my chest, her voice trembling as she shouted, "Why would you say those things to me? How could you?" I froze. My heart raced. My palms went cold. On her screen was a string of messages. Cruel, manipulative words written under my name. But I hadn't sent them. At that moment, I felt the ground beneath me collapse. I wanted to scream that it wasn't me, that she had to believe me. But then the horrifying truth hit me. There was only one person who knew enough about me, about her, and about our relationship to make this possible. My best friend. Yes, the same guy I'd trusted with everything. His name was Ryan. We'd been inseparable since we were kids. He lived 2 houses down, and from the very first day we met at the park, we just clicked. He was the loud one, always joking, always pulling me into adventures, while I was quieter, more cautious. Ryan had this charisma that drew people to him. Teachers loved him. Classmates wanted to be his friend, and I guess I admired him too. We grew up sharing everything: video games, secrets, dreams about the future. When my parents fought, Ryan was the one who told me everything would be okay. When his dad lost his job, he practically lived at my place. We weren't just best friends. We were brothers. At least, that's what I thought. Everything changed when I met Emily. It was sophomore year in college, and she was in one of my literature classes. She wasn't just beautiful, though she was, with that easy smile and hair that caught the sunlight. She was genuine. She listened when people talked. She laughed at my awkward jokes. For the first time in years, I felt like I could be fully myself without pretending to be cooler or funnier than I really was. Ryan noticed right away how smitten I was. He teased me at first, calling her your future wife, before we'd even gone on a date. But then he started encouraging me. He even gave me advice on how to text her, what to say, how to ask her out. And it worked. Emily said yes. Our first date was simple: coffee and a walk through campus. But it was perfect. She told me about her passion for photography, how she wanted to travel the world, how she loved capturing small, unnoticed moments that everyone else missed. I told her about my dream of becoming a writer. She didn't laugh. She actually believed in me. I fell for her fast and hard. Within a few months, Emily and I were inseparable. Everyone said we were the golden couple, always smiling, always together. I'd never been this happy. Ryan, of course, was part of our circle. He came along to movie nights, helped me plan surprises for Emily, and sometimes even tagged along on study sessions. At first, Emily seemed to like him too. She said he was funny, charming, a good friend. I felt proud, almost lucky. My best friend and my girlfriend got along. What could go wrong? But maybe that was the first red flag I ignored. It started small. One evening, Emily texted me, "Hey, what's with that joke? Not funny?" I stared at my phone, confused. I hadn't sent her anything. I asked her what she meant, and she sent me a screenshot. It was from my account, my name, my profile picture, but the words weren't mine. It said, "You're overreacting like you always do. Chill out." I panicked. Was my account hacked? But then the message disappeared from my phone. I checked my sent messages, nothing there. I tried to explain to Emily, but she looked skeptical. She said, "It's literally your account, Alex. Who else could it be?" I laughed nervously, brushing it off as some kind of glitch. She let it slide. But something about her eyes told me that she didn't fully believe me. Weeks went by, and the strange texts kept happening. Emily would show me screenshots of cruel words, late-night messages, even flirty texts that made her cry, all signed under my name. I swore I didn't send them. I begged her to trust me. But the more it happened, the colder she grew. Our dates got shorter, her replies slower, and sometimes she wouldn't even look at me. Ryan noticed. He'd pat me on the back and say, "Don't worry, bro. Girls are complicated. Maybe she's just stressed." I wanted to believe him. I needed to believe him. It all came crashing down one night. Emily confronted me in person, shaking with anger. She showed me a message that made my stomach drop. It said, "You'll never find anyone better than me. You're lucky I even put up with you." I felt sick. My hands trembled as I denied it again. But she didn't believe me. And then a thought hit me. I remembered how Ryan always seemed to know when Emily was upset. How he'd text me, "Hey, maybe you should call her," even before I realized she was mad. How he borrowed my laptop more than once to check something quickly. It was like lightning struck. I grabbed Emily's phone, scrolled through the account details of the fake messages, and there it was. The recovery email linked to the account wasn't mine. It was Ryan's. My best friend. My brother. The person I trusted most. He'd been pretending to be me online, and worse, he'd been destroying my relationship from the inside out. I couldn't breathe. My chest felt like it was caving in as I stared at Ryan's email on Emily's phone. For a moment I hoped I was wrong, that maybe it was some horrible coincidence, some mistake. But deep down I knew the truth. My best friend, the guy I trusted with my life, had pretended to be me online and poisoned the one relationship that meant everything to me. Emily's eyes were still burning with hurt. "So what now? Are you going to deny it again?" she demanded, her voice breaking. I shook my head, tears welling in my eyes. "Emily, I swear to you, it wasn't me. It was Ryan. Look at the recovery email. That's not mine. That's his." She froze, her anger shifting into shock. For a few seconds she looked like she didn't know what to believe. Her breathing slowed and her hands trembled as she scrolled through the settings herself. When she finally whispered, "Oh my God, you're telling the truth," it was like the air rushed back into my lungs. But the relief lasted only a moment, because the weight of betrayal hit me harder than anything else ever had. Emily sat down on the edge of her bed, covering her face with her hands. "Why would he do this? He's your best friend. He's been around us this whole time. Why would he—" She cut herself off, her voice cracking. I didn't have an answer. My mind was spinning with memories. Times Ryan teased me about being awkward with girls. The moments he insisted on helping me craft messages to Emily. The nights he tagged along when maybe I wanted it to be just me and her. And now it all made sense. He wasn't just being a supportive friend, he was studying me. He was watching, waiting, and plotting. I left Emily's place in a daze that night, my head pounding with anger and disbelief. I wanted to confront him right away, to scream at him, to demand why he had betrayed me like this. But when I got home, he was already waiting outside my apartment. "Hey, man," he said casually, as if nothing was wrong. "You okay? Emily seemed upset earlier." I snapped. "Don't you dare," I spat. "Don't you dare act like you don't know what's going on." His smirk faltered just for a second, and that was all the confirmation I needed. "You used my name. You created that fake account. You've been texting her, ruining everything between us." My voice was shaking with rage, but I didn't care if the neighbors heard. Ryan didn't deny it. He didn't even look ashamed. Instead, he shrugged. "So what if I did? My blood ran cold. What the hell is wrong with you? That's when he let it all out. His voice, usually playful and easy, was sharp and bitter. You've always had everything, Alex. Everyone likes you because you're the nice guy, the good guy. But guess what? Nice guys are boring. I was the one who made her laugh when you were too nervous to talk. I was the one who showed her what confidence looks like. And I was tired of standing in your shadow. I stared at him, my heart breaking with every word. This wasn't the Ryan I thought I knew, or maybe it always was, and I'd been too blind to see it. You're jealous of me? I asked, my voice hollow. Of course I am, he shouted. Do you know what it's like to be the sidekick? To watch you get the girl, the grades, the sympathy? I deserved her more than you did. So I made sure she saw who you really are. Weak, insecure, pathetic. His words cut deeper than any knife, but beneath the rage in his eyes I saw something else. Desperation. Loneliness. Maybe even self-hatred. Still, none of that excused what he had done. I took a step closer, my fists clenched. You ruined everything. You pretended to be me. You broke her heart, and you broke mine too. We're done, Ryan. You're not my friend. You're not my brother. You're nothing to me. For the first time, his confidence cracked. His jaw tightened. His eyes flickered with regret. But he didn't say sorry. Instead, he scoffed and muttered, Fine, oh, you'll regret this, before walking away into the night. I stood there shaking, feeling like I had just lost two of the most important people in my life at the same time. The next few days were a blur. Emily and I tried to talk, tried to rebuild the trust, but the damage Ryan caused was too deep. She admitted she still cared about me, that she believed me now, but every time her phone buzzed, I saw doubt flash across her face. She confessed that part of her couldn't stop hearing those cruel words, even though she knew they didn't come from me. One night she cried in my arms and said, I don't know if I can move past this. It's not fair, but I just don't feel safe anymore. I wanted to fight for her, to promise I'd make it right. But how could I fight against the ghost of someone else's lies? 2 weeks later, we broke up. I thought that would be the end of it. I thought Ryan would vanish from my life forever. But betrayal has a way of haunting you. A month later, I found out he was dating Emily. The moment I saw them together on social media, his arm around her, her smile shaky and forced, I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. People in our circle whispered about it, some calling it shady, others saying maybe they were meant to be. All I knew was that it felt like the ultimate knife in the back. I wanted to hate her, to blame her for choosing him, but deep down, I knew she was just another victim of his manipulation. Maybe he convinced her he'd changed. Maybe she just needed comfort after the mess he caused. Either way, I couldn't watch. I unfollowed them both and tried to move on. But moving on wasn't easy. Nights were the hardest, lying awake, replaying every moment of our friendship, every inside joke, every secret shared, now tainted by his betrayal. I kept asking myself, was any of it real, or was he always waiting for the chance to stab me in the back? Months passed. I focused on myself, on my studies, on my writing, on building a life without Ryan and Emily. Slowly the pain dulled into a scar. And then one night, out of the blue, I got a message. It was from Emily. She wrote, I'm sorry. You were right about him. He wasn't who I thought he was. I should have trusted you. My hand shook as I read it. She explained that Ryan had grown controlling, that his charm had quickly turned into cruelty, and that the same manipulation he used to break us apart was now tearing her down, too. She finally left him, and she wanted to apologize for not believing me, for not seeing through him sooner. I didn't know how to respond. Part of me wanted to say, "I told you so." Part of me wanted to take her back in an instant. But another part of me knew that the damage was already done, and no apology could erase the pain of what I went through. So I told her the truth. "I forgive you, but I can't go back. I need to protect myself." She understood. As for Ryan, I never heard from him again. I don't know where he is now, and honestly, I don't care. Some betrayals are too deep to ever repair. But if there's one thing I learned from this, it's that betrayal doesn't always come from your enemies. Sometimes it comes from people you'd take a bullet for. And when that happens, you're left with no choice but to walk away, pick up the pieces, and rebuild yourself from the ashes of trust that once felt unbreakable. And that's exactly what I did.